You're muted, James.
Okay, I guess I'm better.
Oh, man.
So how are you doing here tonight, Bo?
Doing good. Yeah, lots of stuff going on in sports.
How's your weather up there? It's raining like cats and dogs down here.
We actually had a sunny day today. Not very warm, but it was sunny. But it's been raining.
Well, yeah. Yeah, who am I asking about rain?
Right, it's wintertime in Seattle.
There's there's the Topper Bills head anyway. Okay, there you go. How you doing tonight, Bill?
So far, so good. It's been an interesting time. Just a reminder, I guess we all remind ourselves of this. Love on the people around you. Let them know that you love them, and because you never know when you might see someone for the last time.
Dave, how are you doing tonight?
Doing okay. A lot easier driving home from Pittsburgh after a win than a loss. I can tell you that.
I hear that. And look who else is here tonight, guys.
Demetrius.
Gentlemen, good to be back. I miss you when I'm not here. And if I'm a little hot tonight, blame Mr. King. He had me on some. Never mind. I ain't going to do that. I'm coming in cool tonight. Last night, tried to be a good friend and, don't have me on here with any guys, some delusional dudes from Minneapolis. We're putting a ban on them. You know he's still in Minneapolis.
You know he's coming.
Well, here's Don. He's not from Minneapolis.
Mr. Hayes.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Don.
Hey. Oh, man. I guess a whole lot of things to talk about. Demetrius has missed most of our baseball shows, so we can't talk about that, So I guess we'll just have to talk some college football to start off here. But, of course, first of all, Dave, do we have Sue's Corner tonight?
Not tonight. Sue apologizes. She just hasn't been keeping up on sports lately. She's been allowing work to consume her. So she says maybe next time she'll have something.
Yeah. Tell Sue I know the feeling.
Yeah. Work just gets in the way of the important stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Well, then we'll just have to talk some college football then, Well, let's see. Don, what happened? We started out this season talking about Texas playing for a national championship, and now they're out.
They are? Well,
I mean, you still get a bowl game and all that, right? But I mean,
Well, here's the thing. You say they're out, and there's a 95% chance they are, but big but they got if they beat Arkansas and A&M, exactly. and they sneak back into that top 12. I mean, it can happen because right now they're the only team in the SEC that has two wins against top 10 competition. So
A&M would make a third, a really good.
A&M make a third, and I like Texas' chances A&M because A&M. I think the highest ranked team they've played this year has been Notre Dame, and I'm still not sold on Notre Dame. I'm not going to talk about the Aggies anymore than I have to, but the SEC is interesting because Texas can't beat Georgia, Georgia can't beat Alabama,
Right.
Alabama can't beat Oklahoma, and Oklahoma can't beat Texas.
Exactly.
So it's circular, and so and of course A&M hasn't played Oklahoma, they haven't played Alabama, they haven't played Georgia. So,
well, we haven't crowned A&M yet.
well, I know. My opinion is that either Georgia is going to win national championship or Ohio State will repeat. That's my gut feeling right now. But so, yeah, but Texas, when they were ranked number one, if you go back when we did the show, I said I do not want Texas being ranked number one. Yeah. I don't mind being in the top 5, but I don't want to be number one. It's just and sure enough, they were number one.
Yeah,
but not anymore. So I mean, it worked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they dropped to 16. I think 16 or 17, depending on which poll you talk to. But yeah, it's been a very crazy season. If they can win Saturday and win next Friday, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Bill, what's up with the Tide here, man?
They're the usual. I'm not sure what you're after exactly. They're always a tiny bit overrated. Now sometimes they're an absolute killing machine, and then they're correctly rated. But people automatically assume they're going to be an unstoppable killing machine, and then they have to prove they aren't. Right? The Alabama factor always makes people assume. Alabama's defense, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is not as good as Indiana's. I know it sounds like I shouldn't be saying that, but I've watched every game of both teams, and I will say it one more time. Indiana has a better defense than Alabama. Does that seem wrong? Sure. Does it seem weird? Yes, but it's still true. And while there are still 2 or 3 absolute stud first-round types on Alabama's defense, but they don't have a Brian Branch, right? They don't have a guy who even vaguely resembles Brian Branch. One of the real hallmarks of the Saban years was they always had, in addition to having a bunch of stud first-round types, they always had at least one football genius in their secondary who you could coach the way you couldn't coach normal college football players, right? Like Brian Branch. Some guy, you would put all this stuff in his head, and he would manage to hold on to it about all these incredibly intricate, non-collegiate defensive coverages, and they would be able to execute them. That guy is not on this Alabama team. And I told you before the season began, they didn't have that guy. So they're exactly who I said they were. They are still a very good football team, but those that just kind of assumed they were going to be Alabama in the sense of Alabama, I tried to tell you. In fact, I'm going to say this right here, right now. Okay, LSU obviously just fell apart in front of everybody. Florida is ugh. Alabama is still going to be a very good football team for a very, very, very long time. That's probably not going to change significantly. But the days of them just having hegemony over football and even over the SEC, it's over. That's done, at least for the foreseeable future.
Wait, hegemony? Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
Hegemony?
The days of... Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I need an explanation. Don't just roll through that and not explain it. What the hell, man? You went Denny Green on me. Now you're dropping hegemony. I don't know. Tell me what that means, bro.
For those who are unfamiliar with things that are hegemonic.
From Michigan. Okay.
For unfamiliar with things that are hegemonic or hegemony. So to put it in perspective, when someone has cultural hegemony, that means that you are now allowing any other cultures to thrive. That means that your culture, you have a monoculture. Your culture holds sway over everything. So,
awesome.
Yeah, they don't get to run football. They don't get to run roughshod over the SEC.
Right. But I'm saying those days are over. they're going to still win the SEC every however many years. Kalen DeBoer's a good coach, but a combination. This is why Saban got out, right? When Saban didn't just get out because he stopped loving ball, right? He got out because he knew the days of them being able to simply show up and everyone being, oh, he knew that was over and was not going to come back. So that's why Saban exited left.
I'll give you an example of how the transfer portal has affected things. So with Indiana, who Bill was just talking about, they added 42 scholarship guys in 2025. Out of those 42, 19 were transfers.
Yep.
And so on their 85 player roster, because they're limited to 85 players now, 32 are transfers.
Wow.
As opposed to 53 that were recruited by the school. So, to Bill's point, back when Saban would recruit these players and their third string could beat most teams. Well, that's no longer the case.
And I got to watch it the other direction where Alabama, incidentally, snags our coach from the Huskies. I watched our 24 returning starters turn into 2.
Wow.
Wow. While you got the mic, Bo, you might as well give us the skinny here on USC and the rest of the Big 18 West.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the game this weekend. You got Oregon, USC, like that thing is going to be awesome. So, I'm not exactly sure where you want me to go with it. They're both good teams, but that's going to be a phenomenal game.
Yeah. Is that the only big game you're looking forward to this weekend?
Well, I'm watching my Huskies beat up on a bad team, I think. But their hopes for getting into the playoff are over. They had a ranked win, so you're like, okay, here we go. And then they decided the next weekend that they weren't going to show up to the right stadium. Like, I'm not really sure what happened there, but they lost to an unranked team, and that basically ended their bid for the playoffs. So they just have to be happy with a bowl game. But like I said a second ago, we're a year removed from losing every returning starter. So for them to be in the position they are is really a testament to them rebuilding the program kind of immediately. Because, when you have 2 returning starters out of 24, that usually means you're going to be terrible. And they managed the bowl game last year. They're back in one this year. Going to be, probably a 10-win team. So I got to be pretty happy with it, even if they're not in the playoff.
Absolutely.
Okay. Don, where does Lane Kiffin end up?
If I were a betting man, and I'm not, I would say LSU. I think Florida's going to make a play for him, but between Florida and LSU, LSU is pretty much the only school in town. I don't really consider Tulane or Louisiana Tech, competition, but Florida, you got Florida State, got Miami, got Central Florida. So I think that he wants to go where he is the big fish, and I think LSU would be if he goes, there's a chance you might stay at Ole Miss.
Yeah,
think so.
Yeah, I think he'll stay at Ole Miss or he'll be at LSU. Which means he'll probably end up in Florida.
I think he's going to stay.
Any thoughts on that, Demetrius?
Yeah, I think he's going to stay at Ole Miss. I think we're in a different age now. The whole idea of big fish, small pond doesn't matter. You're in the SEC. Do it there. You're talking about somebody who's ego-driven probably and wants to establish something. If he goes to LSU and wins, that's cool because you're winning, but it's expected. Hell, Les Miles went to LSU. you can go to LSU and win. Do it at Ole Miss, and I don't just mean go to the playoffs and do. I mean, consistently build something where Ole Miss year in and year out is a program that we're talking about on the Spotz Krib. That's a bigger accomplishment than going to a championship game at LSU, right? Especially in this age. So I think that the thing that would impress me the most would be stay at Ole Miss, which, as Don said, means he's probably going to Florida. so, all right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bo?
Yeah, I think he stays. I think he stays. Like as a, to that point, as an ego-driven guy, right? Like you want to build something, put your stamp on it. You go to LSU. If you have an off year, you're getting fired.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, college football is no longer what it used to be, where you can have some down years and it's cool. It is NFL light. And so if you aren't winning, even if you got a ring 2 years ago, well, it's like you never won one. So, it's kind of like when I feed my dog. 2 minutes later, I never fed that dog ever in my life. And so that's more or less the landscape for coaching today. So you could have won a ring last year. Well, your 4 wins this year. Cool. You're fired.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, Dave?
Well, I don't really have an opinion on that. I just wanted to mention one ACC game that we should keep our eye on.
Oh.
And that game is Pitt versus Georgia Tech.
Shocking. Pitt. Okay.
Well, I mean,
No, you're right. I'm just saying we slept on Pitt. You're right.
Pitt got spanked by Notre Dame last week, and the young quarterback Heinzelman had a bad game, off game. But if he can bounce back, they could shake things up in the ACC if they upset Georgia Tech down in Atlanta. And they haven't played for a while, but I think that Pitt has won like the last 3 times that they've played Georgia Tech down there. So that might be an interesting game if Heinzelman can bounce back. If he has a big game, you could see an upset there. And I think Georgia Tech's first in the ACC right now. And that would be really interesting if they could pull an upset. And then the other thing is Virginia Tech. They hired James Franklin. Now, what could put a little damper on things is right now there's an investigation taking place in Penn State about NIL and academic violations. And the thing is if those allegations prove to have any legs and James Franklin is sanctioned as an individual coach, Virginia Tech could be called upon as to why did you hire this guy that has this cloud over him. So that's another thing to keep an eye on if these allegations grow any legs, because they tend to, the NCAA doesn't want to really advertise that if they can help it. But if that grows legs, that investigation, then it'll be interesting to see what happens with Franklin and Virginia Tech.
You think it's serious enough that it could require a show cause? So they have to go back because I don't know how that works. Bill may know. I don't know. They've already hired him now. So would a future show cause allow Virginia Tech to get out of the contract? Or because I don't know if I've ever heard of that, but Dave's making a good point. If they get sanctions and he gets a show cause, Virginia Tech, you're right. They're going to get called to the carpet on that, right?
Right.
Although they could say we didn't know. We had no idea.
But doesn't the ruling in Michigan have precedent?
Michigan, I don't talk about them. The rules don't even apply to them. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, Bill. I was asking about if you know, and I don't know if you do. So if they he set me up. If they get a show cause to James Franklin, to Dave's point, how does that impact Virginia Tech?
Because Virginia Tech, one thing is if this starts to impact their recruiting, then this gives them a reason to renege on the contract.
Well, they can't really punish Virginia Tech.
No, but Virginia Tech could pull out.
Right. Okay, right. That's what I don't know. That's an interesting point. That is a very interesting point.
And since I have not seen the language of the contract, I'm going to say most likely they have something. Most contracts of this level, at this magnitude, have something in there about acts of moral turpitude or certain things in there. Some version of like a morals clause or things like that. I don't know exactly how it's worded, and I don't know if it only covers morality in the sense of things that violate the law, or if it also addresses things like, recruiting violations at past coaching stops and things like that. So I'd have to know what's in the contract. But if it is, there's nothing as a standard contract. But it comes to this, we get to this point, right? People tweak these things usually to incentivize certain things. Hey, if you do this, you get that. If you do that, you get that. But sometimes there's also poison pills in there as well.
Yeah.
If you do these other things, then it reduces the buyout or this, or certain things get kicked in and certain things happen. But my guess, one, is that it won't be severe enough to trigger any of the things we're talking about. And then two, if it is, at that point, yeah, they have a decision to make.
I mean, isn't the I guess the most ironic part is that we're talking about Penn State, squeaky clean Penn State. Never get dirt on a uniform. Papa Joe, Penn State.
Yeah,
well, because they're still reeling. They never recovered from the Sandusky scheme.
Yeah.
They never recovered from that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
James is talking about clean Penn State. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, Sandusky in the shower with the 9-year-old.
but I mean, no, I mean, my point was being, before Sandusky, Penn State was, like the ideal program, the program that you never talked about having any type of smudge on their record. Now, it hits everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter what school it is. Somebody's in the locker room, somebody's drinking, somebody's beating their wife or throwing the girlfriend out the window. I mean,
yeah. And Sandusky wasn't an employee of the school at the time of that incident.
Right.
No, but
so it's just like, I mean, that just had huge repercussions here. It brought Joe Paterno, probably killed Joe Paterno.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything illegal. He told the quarterback, hey, report him to the police.
Yeah.
And they still went after Paterno.
It's a different game. It's the whole thing is different now, right? I think that, I like Bill's point about what is called moral turpitude. You get a regular job, right? They go, here's your offer, but it's contingent on, right? Gonna need you to pee in a cup. We're gonna do a background check, right? So I wonder, did Virginia Tech? So because my thinking when Dave originally said it is, if there's something coming, Virginia Tech had to do their due diligence, right?
Yeah,
they know, and so I wonder how bad it can be if they went ahead and gave him the job, or were they trying to be slick, give him the job before, say you didn't know anything, and I don't even know how show cause applies retroactively, or if it applies retroactively. I think that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Not necessarily fun or cool, but it's going to be interesting because it might set a precedent around, retroactive use of the show cause penalty.
But like you said, Demetrius, I'm sure, Virginia Tech, especially with all the controversy that came down, it wasn't like he came in there, with, the squeaky clean James Franklin that we know. So I'm sure Virginia Tech did their due diligence. But I'm glad you guys were interested in that, because that'll give us a chance to get Jeffrey Fan on next week. And I'm sure Jeffrey will know much more about it.
We're interested what his thoughts are,
Yeah. So, that should be very interesting. Bo, any comments?
No, I mean, that's the downside to going last, right? Like y'all got it.
We didn't leave it much. Yeah, we didn't leave it much.
I'm just enjoying the show.
Hayes dropped in a shower joke in the middle of it. We covered everything.
I mean, I came ready. Like,
all right, guys. Let's talk about Week 11. The Jaguars, they rebounded from their historic loss by kicking down the Chargers. They avoid 35-6. Talk about messing up a lot of parlays there, boy. Jesus Christ. So any given Sunday, huh, Bo?
The Jags might be one of the more frustrating teams in the league because you see moments where you're like, okay, like they might have started to figure something out, and then they come out and look like the Saints, and you're like, I don't really understand what the problem is here. My buddy Travis, it's always funny to check in with him because he's a Jags guy, writes for him, and it's funny to watch his posts because you can see the pain that team inflicts upon him. But yeah, no, it's honestly, it's probably one of the more frustrating ones because they'll come out and lose to a bad team, and then they'll beat the brakes off the Chargers. Yeah. And you're just like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Fantasy guys, I know they rolled out all their charges.
I mean, they messed up my pick 'em. That's for sure.
Dave, what'd you think?
Well, the Jags might have a shot at winning their division. They still have to play the Colts twice. And those two games could determine the division winner because I looked at their schedule. They played Tennessee twice. This is the Jaguars. They played Tennessee twice, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Jets.
Damn.
And then they got to 2 games against Indianapolis. The only other tough team on their schedule is Denver. But let's say they lose to Denver. If they can handle business with Indiana and don't pull a stunt with these other teams, Tennessee and the Jets in Arizona, they could win the division.
They lose to Arizona, right?
Right, like, exactly. That is exactly how that's going to work.
We'll see.
Oh man, Don, what do you think? I know you like the Chargers. You like Herbert.
Don's getting a drink. Don's getting a drink right now. No, it's probably iced tea or something. I don't mean to suggest it's a drink right now. But I'm just saying he's up getting a beverage right now. I'll jump in for him. Here's the thing. You guys tell me where I'm wrong. I don't trust either one of them. Yeah. When Dave said one of these teams is going to win their division, and it might be me, and my head is just hard. I still say, if you just told me close my eyes and you say AFC, I still feel like I want to say Buffalo, Kansas City. I want to say Baltimore still, right? I don't trust those guys. I still want to say the Steelers, maybe. I don't. Is it me or has anybody here bought either of those? Both started off with the nice, kind word of frustrating, inconsistent works. Indianapolis, it looks right, but does anybody buy it? I still don't.
So
I'm just looking at the division winner.
Well, so here's the thing with those teams. If you're looking at the Colts, the Patriots,
I forgot the Patriots.
Denver.
The thing about those teams is they haven't beat anybody, right? Like I understand they have 8 wins, but they're beating up Tennessee and the Jets and the Raiders. It's like, well, yeah, so is everybody else. That's why they have 2 wins.
New England beat the Bills, didn't they?
They just did, yes.
They did.
Yeah,
They did.
New England beat the
But
Bills.
they did.
They have a scalp on their belt.
Sure. But when you're looking at some of the other teams that might even have a loss more than them, they're playing much more complete teams. Now, I understand you have to beat whatever schedule is in front of you. I get it. But at the same time, if you're using the same model that you do in college where how you win matters, you're watching them win against bad teams by like 2 points, right? That doesn't make you be like, oh, these guys are world beaters. They're getting a ring for sure. You're looking at it like, I feel like they're an 8-win pretender. Like that's
how I feel. Right. I wonder, can we do a quick round table, James? I ain't trying to hijack the podcast. AFC power ranking. Let's just go round robin real quick. Bill mentioned Denver again, who I forgot. And there's Kansas City, and there's Buffalo, and there's Baltimore, there's probably Pittsburgh. Where do you, the simple question, just give me a number. AFC power rankings, where do you have the Colts? I'll start and say 5 because that's about where I think there's at least 4 teams in the AFC better than them.
Yeah, even if the records are.
I might even say 6 or 7.
I wouldn't be mad at you. What about you, Dave?
Well, I probably have the Patriots and Buffalo ahead of them. The Steelers just beat them. And then in Denver. So I would put those teams ahead of
at least 5, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Don, we're doing exercise work. Yeah, Bill, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so we're talking about the Jaguars.
Nope, Colts.
No,
The Colts. Oh. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think New England's better. I think the Broncos might be the best of all the teams in the AFC.
Maybe.
They have an incredible defense. Their offense does.
You just asked for a number, Bill.
I
just
know. I'm aware. Hold on.
I want that Bronco defensive line breakdown later, though.
Yeah, we will get that later. So yeah, I'm
Wait.
a little higher on them than probably more like 4 for me.
So are you going with the Broncos' fourth quarter offense or the first 3-quarter offense? Because that's a wildly different
there
team.
is no 3-quarter offense. But they do have a great 4th-quarter offense.
So Don Hayes, where do you rank the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC?
I think they're a solid 6.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not the only one. We're all at like 5 or 6. Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't buy them yet. Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then Bo, where do we rank the Seahawks in the NFC?
Where do I rank the Seahawks in the AFC? Definitely number 1.
No, I said in the NFC.
He did say NFC. He did.
So I actually have them as the 3rd best team in that conference. I have the Rams ahead of them, and I have the Eagles ahead of them.
Okay. Don, where do you rank the Seahawks?
I think Bo is onto something there. I'm trying to think. I'd say 3 or 4, but yeah, 3 sounds good.
Dave?
Well, I would have the Eagles, maybe 1 or 2 teams from the NFC North, even though they're all mixed up. So at least third or 4th. Rams ahead of them. So I'd say 3rd or 4th.
Bill?
Yeah, Eagles and Rams are easy, and then it gets interesting. Is there anyone else I'd put definitively ahead of them? Like, if we're doing tiers, to me, they're in the 2nd tier of NFC teams, and those teams all kind of seem the same to me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they played each other 10 times, all the teams in the 2nd tier, they go 5-5 against each other. I feel like they go 5-5 against the Packers.
We just need a number, Bill.
The only caveat I'd give you there is they were within a field goal turning the ball over 4 times against the Rams, who's arguably the best team in that conference.
Right. I mean, and as my father used to say about baseball hits, there's no pictures, just numbers. At some point, it comes down to, did you win or lose?
Sure.
And teams, when they're good, find ways to win, even games they have no business winning. And bad teams find ways to lose games they have no business losing, which is why the Jaguars are so confusing and frustrating at whatever term you want to use. I'm going to throw Tampa Bay ahead of them, though I probably shouldn't. I'll probably regret this later. So I'll put them at 4.
You will. You
definitely will, because their whole team's hurt.
Well, now, since we're talking about we mentioned New England, Bo, are they real or Memorex?
I have them very similar in aspect of the Colts. They have a win that you're comfortable with. That being said, the Bills are a very beatable team. Their offense is decent. Their defense is suspect. So when the offense doesn't show up, they lose. And so now I do believe that they are way ahead of schedule, right?
Yep.
Like that team is playing phenomenally. And I mean, everybody knows Vrabel's a good coach. The fact that he got fired in Tennessee was wild. You should have been firing the GM, not the coach. But, he goes to New England and he's getting the absolute most out of that roster. Do I think that they can go on a run? No, I don't think they're built for that yet. Again, I think they're just ahead of schedule. So they're getting some wins against some bad teams. Once their schedule gets a little tighter, we'll kind of see what they are.
What do you think, Bill?
I'm going to disagree a little bit with Bo. I think that their defense is very much for real. Their offense is way ahead of schedule. They're doing it to some extent with mirrors. Drake Lee May, and I said this before the season began, was going to establish himself as a top 8 quarterback this year and a top 5 quarterback next year. He's on a very sharp trajectory towards elite status because he has everything you look for in a quarterback. He is mentally and physically tough. He's accountable. He's extremely smart. He's a second-generation quarterback, son of Mark May. Those of us who watched his father at Carolina.
I actually just come on this show to find out people's middle names.
Okay. It's worth it. It's worth it.
And he's growing really, really fast, right? He's in a system that is challenging. It's not an easy system that they run, and he's absorbing it. He's eating it like crazy. Usually when a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, is drinking from the fire hose, at some point they look like they're drinking from the fire hose. But he's not. He looks comfortable dealing with all the stuff they put on him in that offense. Watch the all-22 of what they ask him to do in that offense and come back and talk to me. And their best players are probably, sometimes Keishon Butte is one of their better players, which is wild to say. I won't say the ghost, but the reanimated Mr. Cardi B. They also get occasional contributions from Max Hollins.
So disrespectful.
Mario Pop Douglas. Like it's Hunter Henry is one of the tent poles of their offense. Travion Henderson is an emerging star, but think of if they draft well, where that team could be in another year or two. I've said before the season began, I thought the Bills' window was closing. I think it might be slamming shut in real time as we watch.
Don, what do you think here about the Patriots? Are they real?
The Patriots are very real, and I wasn't expecting that this year. But the two teams that have really stood out in my mind are the Patriots and the Broncos. And I wasn't expecting either team to be. I figured Broncos would be tough, but I just had no faith in New England. But May is turning it up, and that might be your AFC Championship right there.
Okay.
Very possible.
Demetrius.
I'm impressed with New England. Somebody used the term ahead of schedule. That's a little bit I really agree with that, and that might come back to bite you. But I've always thought that Mike Vrabel was a really good coach, so it's not as concerning. I buy Denver more, and I don't know if that's what we're doing, or we're just talking Patriots. I like the Patriots. I think they're legit. I think they're gonna be right there in the mix. I'm not ready to go Denny Green and crown them because I do like Denver a lot. So I think it'll be interesting though. But yeah, I think they're legit. They're not. I trust them more than I trust the Colts. I mean, I know we're not revisiting that, but give me a choice there. I'll take the Patriots over them.
Dave, what do you think?
Well, one, I think that they've benefited from an amazingly easy schedule. Look at their schedule.
Yeah.
And yeah, they beat Buffalo the first time around. And now for the remaining games, they got the Bills and the Ravens, and that's about it. They're going to play the spitterless Bengals this weekend. And if they can beat the Bengals, I think they're going to end up at least 13-4, or should. And I mean, I agree with what Bill and the others are saying about May. I think he's a big reason. I think that Vrabel's a very good coach. but they've also benefited from a cake schedule.
Dave, we've had a couple guys mentioning, that the Bills window closing and the Bills are through. But hey, we had a guy. They actually outscored Tampa Bay 23-12 in the second half, and of course Josh Allen ran for 3, threw for 3. You bearing the Bills too, Dave?
Not as long as Josh Allen is healthy and performing. How many touchdowns was he involved in? Like 6?
6.
Yeah, so 3 and 3, 3 rushing, 3 passing.
Now their defense, they gave up 32 points, but still, as long as Josh Allen is healthy and producing, no, I think that they'll be in the mix, and maybe as a wild card behind New England, but they could, like for example, if they play Pittsburgh in the first round, Buffalo's had Pittsburgh's number for a number of years, so they could make noise in the playoffs as a wild card team. But the caveat is you got to have Josh Allen healthy and producing.
Don, what's your thoughts here? I know you like Josh.
I do. However, Buffalo, I just pardon my French, but Buffalo has fucked me all season on my picks. I want to believe in Buffalo. I love Josh Allen, and he's a great guy, and I'll be damned if if I picked him to cover spread and they get beat. I mean, I just don't know. Later on we do our picks. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea.
I got a pretty good idea.
You picked against them last week. You picked Tampa last week.
I
Buffalo.
did, yes, because I had no faith in Buffalo. And I said they fucked me because
You just told us why.
And the other time, but Buffalo kept letting me down. So I said, well, hell, I'll take Tampa. Well, then what does Buffalo do? They go out and win. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that has a team that consistently fucks over, right? Do y'all have a team that does
That's the
that?
Niners for me.
There you go.
Because I kept going against them because literally every game they lose like 3 people. And you're just like, okay, like at some point it's you, the ball boy, and a guy serving hot dogs, and somehow they're still winning.
Hey, David, who's Buffalo got this week? Just for shits and
This
grins.
week they got Houston.
Houston. Okay, so
Thursday night game.
here
That's the leadoff day.
I'm going to pick Houston. Which means Buffalo.
All right, I'm
The
writing
rest of
it
y'all,
down right now.
the rest of y'all, if y'all pick Buffalo, that proves my point.
I like that you're literally trying to save Buffalo's season. Good for you.
Demetrius, what's your thoughts here? You burying Buffalo already or what?
Nah, I just echo Dave. Josh Allen's special. He's different. Just a different kind of guy. You got him. You got a shot, right? And I don't know. I guess in theory, McDermott might be on a hot seat of some kind. I don't know. I don't get it. I think they are a product of expectation. Right? People who are disappointed in Buffalo, they're disappointed because of the expectations there. That's not a bad place to be. I think my team is experiencing that as well. But I think Buffalo's fine. Buffalo's fine. They're going to be fine.
No, and like for me, it's what I said before. They go as far as Josh Allen can go, right? Because their defense isn't great. So as long as the offense shows up and balls out, they win games, right? Because they're a tough offense to deny. But when you have one of those Josh Allen games where he throws a couple picks, that defense is getting you no stops. And so, I mean, it's not Bengals bad, but it's a middle of the road bad. So good offense is going to score on you. And when we're talking about this time of the year and moving forward, you got to be able to get some stops because you're going to start playing some teams that are good.
Yeah. And I think that what they got to stop doing, it's imperative. You can't just keep fucking over some guy in San Antonio. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. But it's not a sustainable platform long term. That dude ain't happy with you.
You don't think they have a sign in the locker room that says that somewhere?
Exactly. It's a map of the city of San Antonio. Don't mess with it. All right, 2 fingers, exactly. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel it.
Bo, I'm going to let you start this one out here. We saw the Broncos beat the Chiefs last week. They outscored with that last second field goal.
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs out, Bo?
No, I don't remember their schedule offhand, but they have a path forward. The AFC has a lot of questions anyway, as far as what the final spot will be. But no, I don't rule them out till they're mathematically out, just because they have a history of turning it on when it matters. Kudos to the Broncos locking that out, though. The Broncos are that team that I picked against them also because of the way they're winning games, right? They just don't show up for 3 quarters. The defense is there, keeps them in the game, right? Defense is top notch. Offense is on vacation for 45 minutes every football game, and then they show up for the last 15. And so when you're looking at some of these better teams, you're like, this is eventually going to bite them in the ass, right? Because, you can't spot people points and then expect to roar back and make it happen every week. Yet somehow it's been working. But again, that's not a recipe for success in the playoffs, with the exception of the fact that their defense is top notch. So as long as you're close, they have a shot. But in the playoffs, it's one and done. And so if you can't come over, the lead that you spot, it's a wrap. So I think the way they're winning is going to hurt them. But good on them for winning the way they are. As far as the Chiefs, they better start winning today.
Yeah, I think they're 5-5.
They're 5-5.
Yep.
And the Chargers are 7, right? 7-3.
4, I think. 7 and 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's 7 and 4.
7-4,
and
the Broncos are 9-2, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they got a little little work to do within their own division there. Bill, what's your thoughts on the Broncos Chiefs? Are the Chiefs out? What?
By out, they're not going to win the division. I think we could kind of put a stake through that. They have a chance to be, a wild card team. And
you think 3 teams will make it out of the West?
I was about to say that. Took the words right out of my mouth. The West could be all the wild cards, right? They have enough good teams positioned, and they're going to play each other quite a bit down the stretch. So a lot of things can potentially happen. In the model that I've sort of been playing with, they can essentially afford to lose one more game, right? They can afford to lose because the Chiefs gets very binding after that. If they lose more than one game, they are no longer even guaranteed a shot at the wild card. So they've got to play this thing very, very carefully down the stretch. And they do play, like I said, the good news is they play a bunch of teams in their division. The bad news is they play a bunch of teams in their division down the stretch. So they need to win these games. They can't afford to keep. And it's funny. So things you said about the offense are sort of similar, but in reverse, right? Very often their offense looks good early on and then sputters and then comes to a creaking halt late in games. And the defense, for the most part, holds up its end of the bargain. It's funny because people still have this mental picture of the Chiefs, but they're thinking of the Tyreek Hill, young Travis Michael Kelsey. They're thinking about that version of the Chiefs, who could score virtually at will on anybody. This is a very different team. Their best player on offense, not named Patrick LaVon Mahomes second, is probably Rashee Rice, and he's still knocking off the rust. They haven't, at least enough for my satisfaction. Tyquan Thornton got 23% of the snaps for reasons I'll never understand. in that game. If you put Rashard Smith on field, and whether he's in the backfield or you motion him out because he started his first 2 years in college as a wide receiver and got moved to running back, he can run all the wide receiver routes and catches the ball still like a wide receiver. You've got Tyquan Thornton, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, and Rashard Smith on the field at the same time, and pick a tight end, and you probably keep him in the block, right? And you get those guys out. The one thing that if you consistently force a linebacker, pick a linebacker to cover Rashard Smith in space, even if it's on just a little angle route, you're going to get some big plays. You throw 5 balls to him, at least twice he's going to make someone miss, and now that 6-yard play is a 30, 40-yard play. And why that wasn't happening more, I'll never understand. And Tyquan Thornton is one of your best players. I know it seems funny to say that because he was a bust in New England not that long ago, but situations matter. In the situation he's in now, he's probably the second best wide receiver behind Rice. Maybe that'll be worthy someday, but that day has not come yet. But if you put Rashee Rice at X, Thornton at your Z, Worthy at your Y, and Rashard Smith in your backfield, and you consistently do that. If that is 40% of the snaps they're together on the field, something big is going to happen. Even if the ball isn't in the air very far, those guys are run after the catch monsters, and they could make big plays.
That's Andy Reid. That's Andy Reid calling you there, Bill.
You know what? As soon as the show's over, Andrew Henry Reid and I need to talk.
The game that's going to be very interesting for KC is the one this weekend when they play the Colts.
Yep.
Like that is going to be a huge game on whether or not they have a legitimate shot at the playoffs.
And it also helps legitimize if the Colts are quote unquote for real, right? As people are still somehow doubting them. But yes.
What's your thoughts on the Chiefs there, Dave?
Well, I think the Chiefs, I would add on to what Bo was saying. They got Indianapolis, but then Dallas, who's been resurging, who I'm sure we're going to be talking more about, and the Chargers and Denver. These are the games that Bill was talking about. I think in order to get a wild card spot, they're going to need to win 3 out of those 4. To have a shot at a wild card spot. They're a dangerous team, and I would just assume them not make it to the playoffs. That's the tall order, the 3 out of the 4. Now, the thing is with the Chargers, they were missing their 2 starting tackles, and their offensive line was all in disarray. So it's like, can the Chargers keep pace, or are people going to start getting to Herbert? And a lot of that depends on, so far I think that they've done a really good job compensating for their losses, but at some point teams are going to be taking advantage of it. So I think that Denver's in the driver's seat, but we'll see how this plays out. There's still a lot of interdivision games to be played yet.
What do you think, Demetrius? Even with Dave's scenario there, that the Chargers are 2 games ahead of the Chiefs still.
Yeah, so I am I guess the oddball. I think they're out. I think they're done already. I think the runner-up in the East, Buffalo or the Patriots, take one of those 3 wild card spots. I think that the North still has a shakeout. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, somebody from there's a lot of teams they got to be better than, right? So there's going to be a runner-up in the North. The runner-up in the North could only have 6 losses, right? That's still doable. And then there's still the San Diego, the LA Charger piece to this. But I actually think there's still only 3 spots. And I think one of them is going to the East runner-up. I still think there's noise to be made in the North runner-up. See how that works out. It's a big ask right now. The division is out of the question. I think we all agreed on that.
I think the North is only going to have one playoff team.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the number 4 seed. That's almost inevitable.
Okay, I think it's a lot of work, but they get there? Sure, and but then they get to go to Denver or go to New England or wherever they need to go. But I think it's tougher than it sounds. I think that there's still a whole lot of options out there, and there's only 3 spots.
Don?
Well, so Kansas City, I know last year in the Super Bowl, and I was watching it, I said, damn, they're just getting manhandled. I said, I wonder what next year's going to be like. And sure enough, I think, Mahomes, I think he's still, one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league, but there's only so much he can do, their defense lets them down at key games, key moments. And again, they're good, but there's other teams who are rising to the top. We talk about Buffalo, and we talk about Seattle, and we talk about New England. So of course Buffalo is going to let me down, but they're capable of beating anybody when they put their minds to it. So I think Kansas City, they're going to make it interesting, but I don't see them going past the first round if at all.
All right, guys, I got to jump out. Great to see you guys. I will miss you guys next week, so have a fantastic Thanksgiving.
Hey, Bo, by the way, you got 15 out of 30 picks last week.
15 out of 30?
Yeah.
Sweet. That's a terrible week.
Broke even, man. Broke even.
Mediocre is the new black.
Right. Just middling it out. I like it.
You can email them in, though, Bo, if you want your picks.
Right on. All right.
Yeah,
all
right. Give us your last word, Bo.
Oh, that was the last word.
His last word was all right.
So, Don, let's stick with you here. It seems like Jerry's guys, they beat the Raiders. Dak threw 4 TDs. The Texans also got to 5-5. You guys in Texas had a pretty good week, except for UT. So what's up there, Don? What are you thinking? You got who's at Buffalo and Houston this week, and who's Dallas playing?
They got the Eagles.
They
got the Eagles.
Yeah, they got the Eagles.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so yeah, Dallas beat the Raiders, but who hasn't? I mean, that's that's like me. It's like me beating my dog in chess. I mean, come on. Yeah, but I think the Texans look pretty good with their backup quarterback. He's a gamer. So
I'm talking about
David Mills.
Mills, yes.
Davis Mills, yes, from
Davis
Stanford.
Mills.
So yeah, it's a good week for it. But Cowboys going to lose against Philly, and who did Texans have?
Yeah, that was
The Bills.
Yeah.
The who?
Thursday night.
Bills.
The Bills.
You're picking the Texans. Don't worry about it. You already did
Texans. Yes.
The Bills is what we're calling the Texans this week.
There you go. I should know that. But anyway, Dallas is, they play great against the weaker teams, and they play the harder teams a little bit tougher, but they still lose. So I think I'll look at the Dallas upcoming schedule, but I think they're going to be toast. It's all said and done.
Okay.
But I will keep watching. I'll keep watching.
Bill, talk us about the Bears and the Vikings here, man. Was it every garbage can gets steak every once in a while, or are the Bears real?
Well, I mean, it's a combination of things. Now,
Okay.
LaGrange, right? LaGrange Park's own, Justin John McCarthy found himself facing his childhood team, right? And you could see him at times, not recognizing certain things that were happening in front of him. He's talented, but raw, callow, inexperienced, to pick a term. And he's seeing a lot of things for the first time. He was a person who had a limited number of starts at University of Michigan in a very run-heavy offense, where he made big plays when he was counted on to do them, but he didn't carry the offense by any stretch of the imagination. Then he comes to a situation where he ends up, due to injury, watching his entire rookie season. So this is, while it's officially his second year, it's really his rookie season. And he looked like a rookie. To me, the Bears will go as far as two things, right? The maturation of their young quarterback and their defense's ability to force turnovers. Their defense does a lot of bending and a lot of breaking at certain points, but they are good at forcing turnovers, and they are good at getting you off the field on third and, the more than 4. They're really good at those two things. They don't have a dynamic, terrific pass rush, but they do dial up some interesting blitzes. They are able to generate pressure, and through games and blitz, some twists and stunts and things like that. But they don't have that one mismatch guy as a pass rusher. Ben Johnson is still Ben Johnson, and I wrote an article about why it's going to take a while for it to fully be implemented, because you're asking offensive linemen to learn essentially 2 different blocking techniques at the same darn time, right? Because they don't just run zone. They don't just run gap man stuff. They do all of that. And sometimes at the same time, one side will look like it's running one kind of blocking scheme, while the backside of the same play is blocking a different set of techniques. It's wild what they ask offensive linemen to do in that system. And it's not talked about enough how hard it is to be an offensive lineman in the Ben Johnson system. And I'm surprised Demetrius hasn't gone into a deep dive and explained it, but it's a lot. They put a lot of their offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And so it's going to take a while for them to fully absorb all of it. The quarterback is asked to do a lot pre and after the snap. And once again, he's a young quarterback in his, third system in the last 3 years. So they're developing and growing, but they have a legitimate shot to be a playoff team. And they have an interesting schedule. It's not an easy schedule, but it's not the toughest. It's sort of a middle of the road kind of schedule they have this season. But they're still a couple players away. And I've been critical of some of the things that Ryan Poles has done, particularly some of the trades they made early on in his time with the team. And some of the draft picks have not been, some have been solid, but some have been not maximizing of where they were, in the actual draft order. But if they're a playoff team this year and they draft well, they have a chance to be a legitimate contender next year. And so this is a pivotal time for them as a team, as they are developing, as they're learning the system, both on offense and defense, on both sides. They are running on defense. It's a more of a adjustment of what they used to run, a little more adventurous, a little more, trickier blitzes and a few more combo coverages in the back end. But kind of the overall scheme is somewhat similar. But on offense, it's completely different. So they're still learning, but they have a legitimate shot. My projection preseason was 9-8. I think they might even beat my projection.
Oh, wow. Good evening, Mr. Scott. How are you doing this evening, Mr. Scott? Glad to see you were able to get here.
Yeah. They're doing very, very good. I'm sorry I missed what must have been a great explanation of something by the genius Demetrius. Sorry I missed that, but now I'm.
No, we haven't got to that yet, because we were talking about the Bears and the Vikings, and you just happened to come in. So maybe you could talk to us about how those little Bears knocked off the Vikings.
Yeah, explain that shit, genius.
Well, They didn't knock us off. We gave it to them. We handed it to them.
But it's still an L, though, right?
When you have a quarterback who has, you got two or three of the best receivers in the league. I mean, nobody's going to really argue with that. And when guys are wide open, you can't hit them. He's rushing things. Boy, there were just so many mistakes that they just really handed the game to him. And I mean, if they continue to do that, they're just going to continue to go south. This quarterback thing, I mean, they're really taking a lot of flack for that. For getting rid of Darnold and the other guy that went to Indianapolis, and they're doing great. Had them on the team, didn't want them, thought this guy was going to be so good, this JJ guy, who hadn't really proved anything in college. And so it really comes back down to this general manager, the mistakes that he has made with these top draft choices and the moves that he's made. That's where my criticism is. I mean, they handed the game to them, and it was a very excruciating to watch. It was very excruciating. It was a very excruciating game to watch because they came back at the end, and then they have a breakdown on kick the ball out of the end zone. Just kick it out of bounds or something. Don't let the man return it. And then they let the man return to get a field goal. They just gave it to him. It's a gift.
It was a wild weekend, but Demetrius, let's talk about your 6-4 Lions here.
Yeah, let's hear about that. Let's hear about that.
What the hell happened with the Eagles?
Yeah, I don't make excuses and say gifts and all that bullshit. The Eagles are really good. They outplayed us. They outcoached us. Their quarterback played better than my quarterback. Their coach was smart, took points when they were there, didn't go for it 5 times on 4th down, and their defensive line is legit. Those guys got their hands up, knocked 5 or 6 passes down. They were in Goff's face all night. We got outplayed. We got beat by a better team. I had no problem saying that. That's it. I don't got no excuses. We didn't give them.
They have no problem saying it too if that's what happened. But that's what happened Sunday.
They outplayed us. I didn't comment on your game. He asked me about the Lions Eagles. We played quite possibly one of the best 2 or 3 teams in the league in their building, and they outplayed us. Full stop. Ain't no shame in losing by a touchdown to the Eagles. That's it. I got nothing else. And he's right about the Vikings, by the way. They should have won that game. They did give that game away. I was just having fun with them. That was fucked up. It really was. But that's not what happened in the night game. In the night game, the Eagles defense, guys, Quinyon Mitchell's legit at corner. This kid, Braun at linebacker. Wow. Zach is, and they're up front. I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody's got a better front. I don't know if anybody in the league's got a better front. Carter and these guys are, man. And that's just, and the reality is the slap in my face was for them to reach the goals I want, they got to go beat that team in that building. And Sunday night, I thought, damn. I called my brother and said, yeah, forget about the Super Bowl. We got to go beat them there if we want to get to our game. I don't know if they played that game 10 times in Philly, we might win twice. They're better. Now, we got some guys coming back from injury, so we might be better in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. We might literally be more talented. DJ Reed will help. Malcolm Rodriguez will help. Right? We're going to get better. But Sunday night, the better team won. It was a good game, though. I'm not going to say we got smoked or anything. We were within 7, and they outplayed us and outcoached us. I was more unhappy with the coaching. My quarterback didn't play well at all. My quarterback did not play well. But if you ask me, a blame pie, 70% of my blame goes to the coach. It's both the head coach and the offense coordinator, who happen to be the same fucking dude. So that was my problem. We got outcoached and outplayed. And I'm not ashamed because the Eagles are good. We didn't get beat by a bad team. We got beat by a good team.
Now, do you think that formula is still going to work? Your head coach, me, and your offensive coordinator.
It has to, because that dude ain't going back. I mean, so if I look at the whole thing, our 4 losses, 3 of them were at Green Bay opening day. They came out right after getting Micah. They played well and beat us. At Kansas City, they played well and beat us. And I hate to do it because he's right here on my fucking screen. But Brian Flores outcoached us when Minnesota came to Detroit and beat us. That wasn't a fluke. I think their quarterback is not that good, but that day he threw every kind of twist game the Vikings beat us. All 4 of our losses, we got beat by the team that was better that day. That's why I don't freak out about it. Like, I don't have a game where I go, oh, if we had just done it. Nope. All 4 of those games, the better team won. So I'm not struggling with it. Now, your question was about Dan Campbell's calling plays the rest of the year. That's the reality of what it is. Now, what I need him to do is some of the in-game coaching decisions. You're going to have to hand that off because I don't think you can do both. Because Sunday night, the head coach failed. The head coach made a bunch of bad calls because he was too busy being the offensive coordinator. That's my opinion. And we just played a better team. No, I don't want to do that. We got beat by a better team Sunday. But the good news is our schedule, the 7 games left, we got 6 of those games are indoors. And I hate to admit it, but the data doesn't lie. I'm a data guy. We're better inside, man. It's not a coincidence that 3 of our 4 losses were outside. I don't have a problem admitting that. Call us soft if you want. 6 of our last 7 games are indoors. We got receipts from Minnesota and Green Bay. I think we're better than the Giants and Dallas. The Steeler game will be interesting. I really don't know who you guys are. I can't figure y'all out, right?
Yeah.
I'm still comfortable that there's 11 wins on our schedule. Now, Flores could come in and do this same thing when we get to Minnesota. That dude is just really good. And one day I'm going to do a final thoughts on why the fuck is Brian Flores not a head coach somewhere? Because holy crap. But 6 of our last 7 are indoors. I still feel good. We beat the Bears. We put 50 on the Bears when they came to town. So, I mean, I don't have a problem going back to Chicago in mid-January, but 6 of the last 7 are indoors, and we got a couple receipts. Green Bay coming in for Thanksgiving. We owe y'all. We're better than the Giants. I like where we still can be, largely because of my first point. I don't think we have given away any of our 4 losses. I think we got beat, and there's good teams in this league. We've been talking all night about the parity. Who's the great team that we're scared of? Nobody's scared of us, because everybody's kind of good. I don't think Indianapolis is great. I think Denver's good. You tell me you don't think we can beat Denver? If we play Denver, it's in the Super Bowl. I don't give a shit, right? Okay, I don't want to go back to Philly. I got to be honest. I want to go back to Philly. But I think if you play your game, I think I'm worried about the Vikings at quarterback. They have a next level great defense. If they had a quarterback, I would show Mr. Scott a lot more respect than I'm doing right now because I think that's all they're missing. They got the best receiver in the league. They've got a good coach, a really good head coach, and they've got next level defensive schemes. Talent wise, they're probably close to Philly, maybe not quite. Scheme wise, Brian Flores best in the business. Fangio's good, Spags, whatever. But in terms of like the rest of the year, Dan Campbell's calling plays. Our offense is too talented to keep playing poorly. We'll be fine, and we're indoors. The next 6 weeks, we're indoors. I want to see what happens when we go to the Rams. We'll find out. But so I'm still fine. I still see 11 wins. We can get to 11 wins, and 11 wins gets us in the dance, division or not. 11 wins should get us in the dance.
Okay, Dave, we're still ahead. We're still a game ahead of the Ratbirds, but
not for long.
What's going on with ayahuasca? Is Tomlin going to let him play? What did you think about? I mean, it was the Bungles, but what did you think about the play of Sunday's game?
Well, that was a pivotal game. If the Steelers lose that game, then their games against the Ravens in December don't mean anything.
Right.
And the Bengals had really punched the Steelers in the mouth in Cincinnati, and they were coming off a bye. And then in this game, you lose Aaron Rodgers at the end of the second half. I think they had 2 consecutive roughing the passer calls, and he broke a bone in his left wrist. So come the second half, to our surprise, in comes Mason Rudolph, And in the stadium, we didn't even realize that Aaron Rodgers was out. And then in the first series, the Pittsburgh's first series, they lose Jalen Warren, their starting running back. And he had 10 carries on 62 yards when he got hurt. And then to start the fourth quarter, Jalen Ramsey gets ejected from the game by and it turns out Jamar Chase tried to play the victim card, and it turns out that no, he wasn't. He was the instigator, and the cameras bore out what Ramsey said happened actually happened to the with Chase ripping his mouthpiece off on the previous play and then spitting on him. So the Steelers, it was a close game. But when Mason Rudolph came in, there was like a spark to the offense. And I don't know if it was that Mason Rudolph was more relaxed or more decisive, but it just seemed like players were getting open and he was hanging in the pocket where Aaron Rodgers was kind of playing tentatively. And he had 2 long drives of like 6 minutes apiece that gathered up 10 points in the second half. And then you had the 2 defensive touchdowns. Chuck Duggar. Now, it was a very, very windy game. So I was in there. I go in as early as I can, so I watched the warm-ups. And it was so windy that Evan McPherson, who's a very good kicker, he missed 2 kicks in a row from the 30-yard line. That would be technically 40-yard kicks. This is like during the warm-ups. Missed them. In the opposite end of the field, and that was with the wind. In the opposite end of the field, Chris Boswell, pretty decent, not the strongest leg in the league, but pretty strong. He can hit him from 56, 57 yards out. He kicked the ball from the 40. It didn't reach the goalpost. And the wind was just very, very impactful, and I think it hurt Flacco. I suspect that when Kyle Duggar intercepted the pass, that pass got hung up in the wind. I don't think it was tipped. I just think it got hung up, and he had some great downfield blocking. And then you had Brandon Eccles that forced the fumble, and James Pierre, who was playing for Slay. And Pierre is a career special teamer, had a fantastic game. He took it in for a touchdown. But to me, the bigger play that James Pierre had was in the first half. Cincinnati had scored right away to tie up the game, or could have tied up the game. And then there was a penalty, and then so they take the point off, and they decide to go for 2, and Pittsburgh stopped them, which to me was an important game. But James Pierre, on the next drive, it's 3rd and long. James Pierre's one-on-one with Jamar Chase, and he tips the ball away on a big 3rd down play, forcing him to punt. And Pierre just played out of his mind. So a good game, and what Pittsburgh demonstrated is that guys like Mason Rudolph, James Pierre, Nick Herbig, who was playing for Alex Highsmith, Brandon Eccles, who was in because, once you lost Ramsey, you had to shift around, and then Chuck Clark had to come in, and they just adapted, improvised, and overcame. That they won the game. So I thought it was a good performance. Like Demetrius said, the Steelers nation doesn't know what team Pittsburgh is. Are they the team that beat the Patriots, beat the Colts, beat the Bengals this time decisively, or are they the team that lost to the Chargers, and so on? And it's hard to tell. But I think that the coaching staff has done a good job in really revamping the secondary, because they've had once they lost to Sean Elliott, they've just been constantly shifting their backfield around. I think the acquisition of Kyle Duggar was big. Now the thing is, they're going into Chicago, And since 1936, Pittsburgh is 1-12 playing games in Chicago. The last time they won was in 1995, which was a 37-34 overtime win. So, and Chicago has a good running game, which Pittsburgh has shown a weakness for on defense. Now, what they have done, this will be interesting. They re-signed John Reese Plumlee to their practice squad. The reason I bring that up is that he's a wide receiver / quarterback.
Yeah.
And so they signed him specifically to prep the defense for Caleb Williams, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, who they're going to be playing all three right in a row.
Yep.
So
Scout
it'll be
team
interesting.
signing. Yeah.
What's that?
No, wait, quick. I said that's a scout team signing, right? I think that's what they call those.
Right. But that might be key, depending on how, if they're able to corral Caleb Williams and Josh Allen and then Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah. Okay. Picks last week, Dave.
All right. So last week, Bo got 15 out of 30. Bill and Dawn had 15 out of 30, along with Bo. James, you were the caboose with 14 out of 30. And I, unbelievably, for the second week in a row, led with 16 out of 30, which is very unusual. I'm bad at picking these.
We all suck at this, right? This is odd how much we all suck at this. This is a whole lot of smart.
I think Mr. Scott is still ahead, though.
Well, Bill retains first with 54.2%.
I don't even want to hear my number.
James is in second with 51.3%. Mr. Scott has 51.1%. Don, you're at 50.6%. I won't mention Demetrius. I'm at 44.5%. So I'm still the caboose.
I am shameful. There's a whole lot of football knowledge on here for all of us to be around 50%. That sucks. We get half of these wrong every week. All of us do. That's just weird. That's just weird.
My score goes up a couple points if Buffalo doesn't keep fucking me.
Right, exactly. You're gonna deal with your Buffalo.
I'll bring that up again.
Your Buffalo sex problem should help your number.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into Week 12 predictions. We got the game coming up tomorrow night. The Bills are giving the Texans 6, and the over/under is 43.5. Don, you might as well just tell us your over/under, I guess.
All right, I'm going to take the Texans and the over.
Okay, what about the Giants? They're getting 10.5, and they're playing the Lions, and the over/under is 49.5.
Ooh, Giants and the Lions. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'll go Lions and the over.
Okay, Bill.
I will do. What's the opposite of follow that cab? Go in the opposite direction of that cab. I'm going to do the exact opposite of what Don just did. I am going to take the Giants. I think lose, but I think they're surprisingly scrappy. And it's 10.
The Bills are giving the Texans 6. Giving the Texans 6, and the over/under is 43.5.
I started with the second game, but yeah, okay.
You started with the most important game.
Right.
Okay.
So I think that it's 10 in the hook, right? 10.5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the hook.
That's a good
Right.
score. Okay. So yeah, I'll take the Giants in the under, and I will take the Bills and the what was the over/under for that? 43.5.
43.5.
49.5 for the Giants and the Lions.
He
He was asking about Buffalo, Houston.
Yeah,
43.5.
yeah, I took the under on that one. I'll take the Bills and the over.
Okay. Dave.
I'm going to take Houston in the under and Detroit in the over. I think Houston's defense might be a little underrated, so that's why I'm going with that.
I'm taking the Bills in the over, and I'm taking the Lions and the under. Demetrius, we know we know you want to take.
I'm showing solidarity
over
with my
under.
friend in San Antonio. My friend in San Antonio. So I'm starting with the first game. I'm going in order.
Okay.
I'm following proper protocol.
Okay.
I'm taking the Texans and the under, and I'm taking the under in the Lions Giants as well.
Okay. Staying with you, Demetrius. We had the Seahawks.
We don't do Mr. Scott? Did I miss Mr. Scott?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Scott.
No, that's all right. That's it's to be expected. But I think the Bills are a better team. And I think we're getting into the kind. The thing is, all these games have been so close at the end. I mean, there's been so much crazy stuff happening, and even for one of Demetrius's points in the past, this officiating. I mean, I've seen face masks be grabbed and the man's head turned all the way around, and the ref is standing there just like this, looking at it. No call. So, but anyway, back to our recently scheduled program. I'm taking the Bills. I think they're better, and I think it could be over. And I'm going to take the Giants and the points because these hooks and all this foolishness this is what's ruining people. They know what they're doing with these hooks. So I'm just going to take it. I'm going to take the Giants, and I'll take it under.
All right. Okay. Well, the Seahawks, Mr. Scott, they're giving the Titans 13.5. The over-under is only 40.5.
Yeah, I got to take the Titans in the over. I'm taking the points. I'm been getting beat by trying to pick, so I'm looking at the points now.
Well, here's another one. Then we got the not yets, the Jets. They're getting the same 13.5.
Oh no!
They're playing. They're playing the Redbirds.
Jeez.
And the over/under is 44.5.
This is another one of the. I have to take Baltimore to cover in the under. They just give them a dose of Derrick Henry. Be done. Get it over with.
Bill.
I don't know if we have Bill right now.
Don. We'll go to Don. We'll come back to Don.
I'll take Baltimore in the over.
Okay, and what about the Seahawks and the Titans?
Oh, Seahawks.
They're giving the Titans 13.5. And the over-under is 40.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks in the under.
Okay. Demetrius.
13.5 is too much. I literally considered taking the Giants because I think the Lions are going to win the game, but I don't know if it's necessarily that. I'm not even mad at Mr. Scott because 10.5 is a shit ton of points in this league this year. I'm taking both 13.5s and I'm taking both unders. It's that Mr. Scott somehow made this great case for 13.5 being too much for the Titans, and then immediately gave it to the Jets and picked the Ravens. I'm taking both 13.5. That's a lot of points. Ain't nobody great in this league. Everybody can stay within 13.5.
But you did take Detroit in the under in that game, right?
I did. I thought about it, but I couldn't do it in front of Mr. Scott. I couldn't do it. I could not. If he wasn't on the podcast, I would have took the Giants. I wasn't doing it. Yeah. 13.5 is too many. 10.5 is right on the line.
I'm going to take the Seahawks and the over. And I'm going to take – God, it hurts my tongue.
Do it. I need to hear you say it. I'm taking the Ratbirds. Say it out loud for the crowd.
I'm taking the Ratbirds, but I'm also taking the under. So,
wow, y'all
is that Dave? Did I get
we didn't get Dave or Bill.
Yeah, I know we didn't get Bill. Bill wasn't there. Dave, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking Tennessee in the over and Baltimore in the over.
Okay. Bill.
I'm taking Tennessee in the over, and what was the over under on the second game?
Same.
44 and a half.
Oh, sorry, 44 and a half. Yeah.
44 and a half. And they're playing it at
Baltimore.
and that's at Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore is going to cover. 44 and a half is probably about right. I'll take the over.
With no confidence. With no confidence.
So Demetrius and Bill took the Jets.
Yeah,
they
right?
took the
I don't know.
13
Wait,
and a
Bill,
half,
did
right?
you take the Jets or the Ravens?
He took the Jets.
13. He took the Jets. Okay.
Yeah, because once again, as pointed out by almost everyone, the worst team and the best team in the NFL are not as far apart as they normally would
Exactly.
be.
Exactly.
And
That's it.
13 and a half points is a big ask. That's a lot. I mean, think of how many last-minute field goals get kicked from 61 yards nowadays. I just can't.
Okay. Dave, we had the Patriots given 8.5 to the Bungles, and the over/under is 50.5.
Damn.
Okay. I'm taking Cincinnati. I think they lose, but they cover with the 8.5 points they're getting.
Is Joe Burrow back?
No.
No, he's not. And they're also going to be missing the spitters. So I'm going to take the under. Cincinnati and the under.
Gotcha.
And we had the Colts giving the Chiefs 3.5, and the over/under is 50.5.
I'm taking Indiana in the under. Let's see if they prove themselves.
I'm going to take the Chiefs and the over, and I'm going to take the Pats and the over. So that puts us at Demetrius.
If you're telling me no Joe Burrow and no spitter, I'm taking the Patriots and laying the 8.5. And that's a big number. I'm going to go under.
Okay.
And
now Burrow is practicing, so there is he does have a shot.
No, he's still within that 21 days. He can't.
Yeah, but he's practicing, so they could activate him.
They could activate him any day. As long as he's in his window, he can get activated. It's fine. We're picking now. I'm picking now. I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the under, though. I don't like that many points. It could be really, really cold in Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, hell, it could be cold everywhere. I'm gonna take.
It could be cold in Kansas City too.
I know, and that's why I'm taking the under on that one as well. I still don't buy the Colts. I'm taking the Chiefs at home, and I'm going the under.
Okay. Don.
I'm going to take the Patriots in the under. I'm going to take the Colts in the under.
Okay. Mr. Scott.
Boy, these hooks, they just hooking. They're just these hooks. It's like Joe Frazier. It's like Joe Frazier hooks. I'll take Cincinnati and the under, even though they really don't play any defense. Cincinnati, I mean, they could have actually won some games if they could play any defense. And then I'm taking the Chiefs. I just don't think they're dead quite yet. You have to knock them out, and I don't think they've been quite knocked out yet. They're at home, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs and the under.
All right. That's everybody, right?
No, Bill. Need Bill.
Bill. I thought we got Bill. Oh, that's right. I got
No,
you. I went to
did
you.
not. No, I'll take the Bengals the under and the Chiefs the under.
Okay. Bill, we'll start with you. The Vikings are getting 6.5, from the Packers. And the over-under is 40.5.
I'll take the Packers in the over.
And we had the Steelers getting 3, playing at the Bears, and the over-under is 44.5.
No hook, just 3 straight up.
Just 3.
This feels dangerously like push territory.
It's pushing opposite.
44.
You can push in the game, you just can't push the over-under.
Right.
Oh, sweet.
I got you. This feels very pushy. And they're playing here. Let me think.
They're playing at the Bears.
Yeah, I know. They're playing here. Yeah.
He lives in
the
Chicago.
weather-
That's what
The weather will be not that much of a factor actually, because I think it's going to be in the low 40s.
low 40s. Yep.
A little bit of wind, but nothing crazy for here. I'll take the over. Actually, I don't think it's weather's gonna be that big a factor. And now I'm really tempted to go with push. Oh man, I do think the Bears win, but I think it's really like a 1 or 2 point game. So I will take the Steelers. Though really push feels really good to me, but I don't think I will try not to go with push. But yeah, that's the over and Steelers.
High pitch Steelers.
Yes, very, very high pitched. Like Minnie Ripperton.
Oh,
Chicago native.
There you go. Mr. Scott, how you like these?
Well, I'm going to take the Vikings on the points. I mean, I think that I think this coach is going to lambast this team about all these mistakes. And I think the defense is solid. So I'm going to take the Vikings in those points. And I'm going to take it over.
Okay.
The Steelers, boy.
Steelers and Bears.
Yeah, this is a coin flip kind of a thing, and Rodgers is not playing, right?
No, we won't know until late in the week.
Right.
See, well, that's another thing they do. They tell people you think they're not playing, they turn on the TV, and there they are. They're just fine. Look fine. I'm at home. Boy, the Bears, this could really put them in a great position. Either team, it's going to put them in good positions in their division. So this is a good game here.
Yep.
I'm going to take I hate to do it, but I'm going to take the Steelers in the under. I just don't believe in the Bears. I think they just lucked out. I'm still upset about that. They're giving them a game. They just taking handouts. Then I don't think they're going to get a handout Sunday.
What do you think, Don?
I hate to do it because I'm a big Mason Rudolph fan, but I got to take the Bears. I'll take the Bears and what's the
44.5.
I'll take the Bears and the under.
Yeah. Okay. And
And
the
then-
Vikings are getting 6.5, playing the Packers, and the over-under is 40.5.
I'm gonna take the Pack and the under.
Okay. I'm going to take the Packers and the Steelers. I'm going to take the Packers and the under. Sorry. And I'm going to take the Steelers and the over.
All right.
Demetrius.
I'm taking Minnesota to cover and the over. And I'm taking Pittsburgh and the under. And one thing is what I did last week, we had a push game. And I counted that as a correct for everybody that picked it. But I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I probably should have just
As long as you find it the same for everybody, it doesn't
As long
matter.
as, exactly. As
Right.
long as it's the
Okay,
same for
so
everybody.
on the push, if it's a push, whoever picks that game, they'll get that game.
Okay.
That's
All right.
smart.
Well, we've only got a couple games that are pushes.
All right.
Actually,
Yeah, with all these hooks, you can't get no push.
go ahead, Demetrius. I think we got
Did
we
Dave
didn't
get
you.
his both his games? What's your second
Yeah.
game, Dave?
Minnesota in the over, Pittsburgh in the under for me.
Okay. So as politely as I can say it, fuck Green Bay and fuck Chicago. And I'm taking the under on both. So I'm taking the Vikings in the under and the Steelers in the under. I think they're both fraudulent. And I think Brian Flores is going to make Jordan Love look like what he is, which is an average quarterback that people are overrating. And I think that fuck Ben Johnson. I think I said it already, right?
I think you said it when he went to
That's
Chicago.
some bitterness.
I think I said it every time you bring him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Wait for your wife to leave you for your best friend or the next door neighbor. Yeah. Go date some dude in another state. I'm cool with it. Leave me for somebody I don't know. Fine. You gonna break up with me, take shit out of my house, and go start dating a neighbor? Man, please. I hear that nonsense.
Let's start with the afternoon games here, Demetrius. Let's go with the Jaguars. They're giving the Cardinals 2.5. The over-under is 47.5.
I find that line interesting. That it's only 2.5. Personally, so I'm going to take the Jaguars because I don't think the Cardinals are that good. But what the hell do I know? I'm next to last in all this. Maybe I should ask Dave what he thinks. Oh wait, sorry, Dave, I couldn't pass that up. I'm going to take the Jaguars, but I think there'll be points, so I'm going to take the over. And the Clowns and the Raiders. Do we have to pick this game? You know what? This one. Wait,
there's no hook.
Can I do the push right here? This one.
There's no hook. Yes.
I'm doing a push, Dave.
All right.
I'm doing a push here. And
now, if he does the push, Dave, then you have to either count the other ones for.
No, I should get 2 points. I should get 2 points. That's all. Give me 2 points. I need to catch up.
I'll give you 2 points.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I'm going to, what's that? 36.5. That's telling. Oh my God. That makes me want to try the over, but I think they both suck, so I'm still going under. You're not going to get me with the banana in the tailpipe. I'm taking the under.
Okay. Dave.
I'm going to take Jacksonville in the under and Cleveland in the over. So just to clarify on the pushes, if you pick a push, you get 2 points. If you get it right, you get 0 if you get it wrong.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay.
And then whoever you pick, it's a straight up pick. So if you pick the winner, you get 1. If you pick
like
the
that.
loser, you get 0.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, long as it's the same for everybody, it's all right.
Yep.
Who did I leave off with? You, Dave?
Me.
You
Don?
led with Demetrius.
Oh, okay. Then it's on you, then, Don.
Yeah, I go Jacksonville in the under,
Okay.
and what's else? I'll go Cleveland in the under as well.
Geno Smith or Shador Sanders?
Sanders.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll give him some first team snaps this week.
I might watch that game. Just
I
got shit else to do.
I think
watch
Shador.
that.
I think Shador will be okay. It can't be worse, right?
Well, let's see.
It could be Deshaun Jackson. I mean, Deshaun Watson. Yeah, it could be worse.
Let's see. Last week in his debut, he was 4 for 16.
It's terrible.
For 47 yards and 1 interception and 2 sacks.
He didn't take first team reps last week. That's critical. Taking first team reps is a big deal.
That's criminal coaching if he was the backup.
Exactly. To me, I think it's a big difference when you take first team reps all week.
Yeah.
Okay.
In football, we used to have an adage that your greatest improvement you'll see all year is from your first game to your second game. statistically. So I think he's going to be much better this week because he's prepared. He's not going to be shocked.
Okay.
Yep.
So so are you taking the push? Or are you taking the clown straight up?
Yeah, I'm thinking
to Cleveland, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done it once. I can't do it twice. I'm taking the Raiders. I'm sorry.
You can't make those words come out of your mouth.
No, not that one. And I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take. I don't know, Brissett. I'm going to take Brissett in the under. I'm going to take the Cards. I think that puts it on you, Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I guess I have. Jags seem like they. That's. I mean, I don't like the AFC that much, but they look pretty good. Cards are so there's no more Moore's tallest midget. That
No,
seems to be history
no,
now.
that's gone.
That's gone. Okay, so I'll take the Jags in the under. And boy, yeah, I'm going to take the Raiders have been pretty disappointing. They are at home and Shador. This is a watch game. I'm going to have to try to fire up my deal and watch that game. I'm going to take the Browns. I still think Stefanski's a good coach, even though he's probably going to get run out of town. I'm going to take the Browns and I'm going to take it over, 36.5.
Okay. Bill.
Let's see. What's the point spread again on Raiders Browns?
30. It's 3. No hook. And the over-under is 36.5.
Yeah, okay, I'll take the over also, and so the Raiders are getting 3 or giving 3?
No, they're giving the Browns 3. It's the Browns plus 3.
Oh.
Home field advantage.
Yeah, right. They're saying that they think it's a pick'em game.
Yeah.
And they're right. It is. But I will take. I think the Raiders, rally. This may be their last win of the year. Enjoy it, Raiders fans. But yeah, I think the Raiders come out of this with, what the heck, a glorious 4-point victory. 20-16 or whatever. And the over/under is 36.5, right?
Right.
So, I guess if it's 20-16, that's 36. So that's the under.
So you lose by the hook.
Yeah, well, right. I think that the Raiders come out with they cover the number.
Okay. They covered it. Are you're not taking the push like Demetrius?
I toyed with it. I love pushes, but I'm going to take the Raiders to cover 20-16.
Okay. And what about the Jags and the Cards? Did you pick that one?
44.5 is the over/under on that one, right?
47.
47.
47. Oh, shoot. And they're playing this in Jacksonville?
No, they're playing it in Arizona.
In Arizona. So it's kind of ideal conditions. But only 2.5. That does feel weird. I'll take Jacksonville and I'll take the under.
Okay. Dave, did you get those?
Jacksonville in the under, Cleveland in the over.
Okay.
Actually,
Dave?
no. I think I took the under on both because it's 36.5, right?
I had
Right.
you Jacksonville in the under and Raiders in the under.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Okay.
Dave, we got the Eagles. They're giving Jerry's guys 3.5, and the over/under is 49.5.
Well, Dallas's offense, they didn't go last week. They didn't get over 50.5 points. They had like 49, but they got Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I think that they sat out their first series, but they showed they can score. So I'm going to take Dallas in the over.
Okay. And then you have the Falcons. they are actually getting 1.5 from the Aints, and the over-under is 39.5.
What a stinker of a game.
Yeah, and it used to be a rivalry too. It used to be, years past, but
Yeah, used to be when they had Drew Brees.
I scratched out
Matthew Thomas.
Atlanta. I'm going to take the Saints in the under, even though originally I had Atlanta in the under, but I'm going to take the Saints.
Okay, Demetrius.
I saw firsthand what the Eagles' defensive line can do to a quarterback. So I'm taking the Eagles, and I don't see Dallas scoring a ton, so I'm going under. I don't even want to pick the other game. I mean, I feel like you can mark whatever you want. I don't think I care. No, I'm kidding. Wow. I'm going to take the Falcons and the over, and I have no logic or reasoning, so don't ask me why. I just said 2 words.
Bijan, I'm taking the Falcons.
Okay.
And I'm going to take, wow. I'm going to take the under. And I'm going to take the Eagles and the under also. They held Detroit to 6 points. I can't see Jerry's guys scoring more than 18 at the most. Anyway.
First of all, I think we scored 9. So cut the bullshit.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I want my 3 points. I want my daddy's record.
Don, who you got here, Don?
I'm going to take Philly in the over.
Okay.
And I'm going to take Atlanta in the under.
All right. Mr. Scott.
oh, I was distracted. Rudy made a jump shot, and I was just trying to see if they were going to. I mean, I thought I saw a unicorn or something. Replay.
We sure it went in.
That actually really.
They might review it and overturn it. Don't get
Hey, but he got you at least 12 rebounds, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You can count on the rebounding. Okay, so I'm taking. Boy, I think the Cowboys started to show some life last week. They just looked like a different team to me. They just look like they've got talent. I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Okay. What about the 49.5?
Oh boy, that's geez. I'll take the under.
Okay, and the Falcons getting 1.5 from the Aints.
Yeah, I think Cousins is washed. So I'm going to take the Saints and 39.5. I'll take it over.
Yeah, I think that's why the Falcons are getting the points, because nobody has faith in Kirk. I'm going to take the Aints and the under, and I'm going to take the Eagles and the under as I thought I said. That's okay. Yeah, I got the Eagles. Okay.
You were taking Atlanta in the under before, but so you're taking the Saints in the under?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this game being played in New Orleans or is it being played in Atlanta?
Is it in New Orleans?
It's being played in New Orleans. Okay. And the
Starting quarterback is Kirk Cousins. And
right. The line is 1.5, and the over under is
39.5.
I will take the Falcons in the over.
Okay. And the Eagles?
I'll take the Eagles in the under.
Okay. Dave, did we get you?
Yeah, I took Dallas in the over, New Orleans in the under.
Okay. Bill, the Bucks are giving the Rams. No, excuse me. The Bucks are getting 6.5.
More like it.
They're playing at the Rams, and the over/under is 49.5.
I will take the. It's about right. I'll take the under, but just barely. I think I think about 47 points are scored in this game. 47, 48 points. And then I think though Tampa Bay, I think, loses this game. I think Tampa Bay rallies late, scores late, and denies them the cover. So I'll take Tampa Bay.
And the over under?
And the under. Yeah, I said under because I think 47 points are scored in the game.
49. Yeah, 49 and a half. Okay, Monday night, Bill, we have the Panthers. And they are getting 7. No hook. Against the 49ers.
Perfect push. Touchdown.
And the over-under is 48 and a half.
I will take the Panthers and the over.
Okay. Final thoughts, Bill?
My final thoughts. I had a lot of final thoughts, but I ended up narrowing it down to one. John White, a beloved coach at Bayside High School in my hometown of Virginia, died very recently. Suddenly and very recently. And not a lot of people get to play. Almost nobody gets to play in the NFL, right? A tiny percentage of people play in the NFL. A pretty small percentage of people play college sports. A pretty high percentage of people get a chance to play high school sports. So the most impactful coaches in America are youth and high school coaches because they have an impact on a larger number of people that do college or pro coaches. And Coach White had recently been on the sidelines of Bayside in a playoff game. So I don't know much about the circumstances, despite the fact that Bayside was one of our rivals in the Beach District. It's still something that touches us all. You know, adding to that, Kenny Easley, of course, recently passed away at age 66. And that has a net connection to my coach because Coach Tommy Rhodes, our coach at the time at Green Run, had also coached the same Kenny Easley when he was at Oscar F. Smith High School. So high school coaches are incredibly important human beings in the lives of young people. Great ones help to change the arc of your life. Good ones at least give you experiences that you can learn from, and bad ones take what could have been a great experience and can ruin it for you. But from all my understanding, Coach White was a really fine coach, and Tommy Rhodes was a terrific coach who helped to shape the career of the now late Kenny Easley, one of the great safeties of all time. So coaches matter, memories matter, and the way that coaches, especially great coaches, impact the lives of young people matter most of all. That is my final thought.
Dave. Bucks plus 6.5 against the Rams. Over under 49.5.
I'm taking the Rams and the under.
Okay. I'm going to take the Rams and the over there, Dave. And I'm going to take the 49ers and the under. So you need the 49ers. The Panthers are getting 7. The over under is 48.5.
I'm taking San Francisco and the over.
Okay. Final thoughts.
Yeah, well, one, I had a great time at the Steelers game on Sunday, but this Friday I'm going to be attending a high school football game. My alma mater, Winston Churchill in Potomac, Maryland, is in the quarterfinals of the 4A Maryland State Championships. So they're playing Montgomery Blair, who's doesn't have a great record, but they've had 2 upsets in a row in the playoffs. So I'm really looking forward to attending a high school game because, you know, the college is the pros, the NFL is the pros, and, you know, NFL or high school football still has a little bit of the purity about it, even though even now a lot of these players are already being recruited for colleges. So it's kind of seeping, you know, the money influence is seeping down even into high school. But it's always a great experience. I love, listening to the pep bands and to the young kids. And, hopefully we'll have a lot of alumni at the game. So looking forward to that high school game Friday night
All right.
under the lights.
Demetrius.
I will take the Rams and the over,
Okay.
and the Panthers and the under.
All right. And your finals?
My final thoughts, Detroit centric tonight. Usually the sports thing right now, I told you guys 2 years ago, it was becoming a really good time to be a sports fan in Detroit. And that is coming to fruition. Whatever you think of the Lions, the Pistons are 13-2 right now with the best record in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if it's sustainable, but they're exciting. They're a good basketball team, and they have a legitimate superstar in Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, if you like hockey, cool. And the Tigers have made the playoffs 2 years in a row with a bunch of opportunity to get better. But I'm going to deviate from sports because on November 4th, my second favorite city, and I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan, and Flint is my home. Flint will always be home. And I will talk about Detroit teams because we won't have no teams in Flint, right? But Flint is home, and it will always be home. But Detroit on November 4th elected their first female mayor. Her name is Mary Sheffield. And she has been on the city council for a decade. She has been the president of the city council for 3 or 4 years now. And she is, and this is all my opinion, you guys don't know who she is or anything about her record. I'm not asking you to, I don't think you guys need to give a shit, quite frankly. She is borderline brilliant. And I believe my second favorite city, not believe, the data shows, has been experiencing a renaissance. Detroit has been coming back. It was a decades-long process to get Detroit to where it was. And it wasn't long ago where the city was bankrupt and we were the butt of every joke, right? And it has been a dozen or more years on the comeback. And I believe she is going to continue with that process, potentially accelerate that process. I am proud of my city that they made this decision, overwhelmingly elected this lady, because she is really, really good. She is Detroit. She's born on the West Side. Her dad's an activist, has been an activist in the city. This was a very, very good choice. And there was an opportunity for my city to mess this up and take us back. And I was slightly worried, and I had no reason to be because she was overwhelmingly elected, one of the biggest margins of victory ever. And she's the first female mayor of Detroit. And I am proud of that. I am excited about the future of the city outside of the sports teams. And so if you hear the name Mary Sheffield, let it ring a bell. If for nothing else, is because I spent my final thoughts telling you guys about who she is.
All right. Don.
So I got to do my pick.
We got the Bucks getting 6.5 against the Rams, and the over-under is 49.5.
I'm going to go Rams in the under.
Okay, and we got the Panthers getting 7, just 7, no hook, playing the 49ers, and the over-under is 48.5.
Ooh, I think Brock Purdy's back too. You know what? I want to go. I'll go 49ers in the under.
All right. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. So, y'all will never get to meet Angelina Terrazas. Angelina Terrazas was one of our star softball players, and she was a senior. Had a scholarship. Last year in the district opener, she pitched, struck out 14, and she was experiencing some pain. And so that pain got worse. She went to the doctor. Long story short, she was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. And she's pitching a complete game, strikes out 14, and she's in immense pain, right? So she underwent some treatment, surgeries. They thought they got it, but then it came back with the vengeance this summer. And sadly, we buried Angelina yesterday. So my prayers go out to the Terrasas family. She was a great kid, loved by her teammates, her coaches, her church. Very, very touching. The school she signed with, full scholarship, is called the University of Cumberland, which is in Williamsburg, Kentucky, which just happens to be where a lot of the Hayes are from. And my dad's branch of the family, they came from Tennessee then to Kentucky. Got some cemeteries up there full of Hayes, but very sad, very sad. The team sent a video. It was just in mourning, but so Godspeed, Angelina Terrasas. We'll see again one day.
Oh man, very very sad story there, Don. We appreciate it though. Who wasn't there a football player that they diagnosed cancer from a drug test?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what his condition is, but I think he did have surgery. Mr. Scott, take us home.
Well, I want the Rams. I'm taking the Rams, and I want to make a statement about that game. Stafford is better than Goff. Okay, that's my final statement on that. And then I'm going to take the 49ers and the I'm going to take the under on that one. 49ers and the under. And then just the final, this couple words Demetrius was talking about. Teams
Over under on the Rams game.
What did I say? Under.
Okay.
Under.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, and then Demetrius was talking about with these hothouse teams and playing indoors, and and I happen to watch all these old Viking games, and I saw this particular game, and it was for the playoffs, and the conditions were so bad you couldn't see players' numbers. I mean, you really couldn't see anything. It was mud. It was just, and so the opposing quarterback, threw a pass, and Carl Eller tipped it. No, Jim Marshall tipped it. No, wait, Alan Page tipped it. That's what it was. Alan Page tipped it, but Jim Marshall got it, and he was running for the touchdown, and then he just threw it over his head. Didn't even look, and it went right to Alan Page, and he ran in for a touchdown, and they won a playoff game. But I just look at those conditions and how I used to look at those conditions of football, and now playing indoors. That this hothouse teams. It's just it's quite a contrast. When I look at it, to me, when I grew up playing football in high school in Minnesota, tell you, some of them days was no fun. So that's just my final word. I guess I always have to get a plug in for Jim Marshall, who passed away, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I hope one day, maybe for his family, that they'll do it.
Yeah. Well, guys, another evening of sports, and I look forward to talking to everybody next week. And we do have a game tomorrow, the Bills and the Texans. So, we might talk a lot of trash, but we'll be in front of the TV watching it. So,
All right.
So,
Stafford is better than Goff. Stafford is better than Goff. I'll just continue to say that. And
let me ask you a question.
Sayonara.
No. Have you ever heard me say Goff was better than Stafford? Because you're right. It's an odd ass thing to say. I know that. Have you guys ever heard me say Jared Goff was better than Matthew Stafford? Because I know I've never said it. While I do love Jared Goff and he's good for my team,
and both of them are better than Aaron Rodgers. Anyway,
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, that's a weird way to go out, but okay. Have a good one, fellas. We'll see you next week.
You got Thanksgiving's next week. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Talk to you all Wednesday night.
All right.